Providence Television International, the game changer, taking you to the outer limits of television.
Welcome to the program Issues in the News on Providence Television International. I am Ugbebo Ikekwa, and with me in the studio is Dr. Emmanuel Egariva. You're welcome.
Well, thank you very much. I'd like to welcome all our viewers at home and abroad to the program. I hope you stay with us in the next 20-25 minutes or thereabout. Thank you.
And as usual, we'll be bringing you very, very trendy stories today. We'll be starting off with one issue that so many people are coming out to say, how come Gbajabiamila again? We'll go to our first story. The presidential candidate of the African Democratic Congress in the 2027 election, Atiku Abubakar, has called for an independent investigation into fresh corruption allegations against President Bola Tinubu's chief of staff, Femi Gbajabiamila. He alleged that Gbajabiamila illegally diverted oil and gas royalties from the Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission through a purportedly unlawful presidential approval.
Well, it's unfortunate that Gbajabiamila is again in the eye of the storm. That's what we say. And I think it's really unfortunate because it's the presidency that is on the spot. We're just battling with the controversial agency, and then we're talking about this. Royalties from oil and gas.
Exactly.
Okay, so, but it's coming from one of the chieftains in the opposition, Atiku Abubakar. I just hope the presidency will not take it as if it's Atiku's business, okay? Because this is a national thing. And I suppose it has to do with the integrity of our nation.
Exactly.
So, but yes, I think Atiku is right. An independent body should look into this. In the interim, Gbajabiamila should just stay off for a while. He should stay aside because there are two issues now.
Yes.
The other one, we are still battling with that. And this one, lately, is coming from Atiku Abubakar, meaning that concurrently there are two issues on the burner, which means that the presidency truly has to act very fervently.
Okay, and I think these issues, the issue of the agency scandal and this, it is actually bringing out so many issues as regards the issues of accountability as regards the federal government.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it has to do with propriety. You know, it's one of the things that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu talked about. He's going to clean the organs table and all that, but we're seeing almost the reverse in all the circumstances. But I believe, yes, that's the optics. I mean, the optics are not favorable. They are not auspicious. And I think that's what most Nigerians also think at this point in time, because you really cannot continue to carry this kind of extra luggage in the administration, no matter how close the person is to the president. Because if he's bringing the administration into odium, then you have to do something about it very quickly. That's what I think President Tinubu should do. But Gbajabiamila for now should just step aside.
Okay.
Otherwise, if we say we're going to do otherwise, it will be creating some kind of red herring, which will not be beneficial to the interest of our people and the country.
Okay, talking about in that line, credibility, that's why you will say that Gbajabiamila should step aside. What about the Minister for Finance?
Well, that's what an independent body should look into. I mean, there are many people who are involved in this.
Yeah.
I mean, for instance, the NNPC will be involved, for instance. But Gbajabiamila himself is the key official there, right? The Minister of Finance will be part of it, and many other stakeholders should be part of it. That's why I think that the independent body would just be appropriate. It would be wrong, for instance, for the federal government or perhaps the presidency to say very quickly that XYZ is not guilty or whatever.
Okay.
And I think that is not acceptable by many Nigerians. It is not for the presidency to say it. Let the independent body say it, and everything will be done appropriately.
Okay, we've always looked at these issues of, should I call it division of labor. Now, when we're talking about an independent body looking into this kind of financial misappropriation, what about the EFCC and the ICPC? What is supposed to be their job?
I think for people who are talking about this, what they are saying is that the independent, or rather the body that should look into this should not be a government agency.
Okay.
Yes, that's what they are saying. An independent body that will be put together by a lot of stakeholders, not just being handpicked by the presidency, for instance. That's what they are saying. And they must be under oath to do it right, because the whole world is watching, for instance. I'm not saying that EFCC should not do his work, but when it comes to an official, a top official like Gbajabiamila, I think an independent body would just be better.
All right, let us move over to the other story, which still has to do with financial misappropriation. PFIPC scandal. Adeyemi alleges threat to life, begs Tinubu for independent probe. He further stated that he borrowed 400 million naira to fund his appointment, and also claims that the ICPC won't indict Gbajabiamila as he is already being exonerated by Tinubu.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was just talking about. For example, you're not doing yourself a favor by appointing a body, or rather by depending on a body that is under your authority to look into an issue such as this. All right? It's not even helping Gbajabiamila, by the way. And the gentleman is saying that, in fact, he's virtually begging President Tinubu to set up a probe panel or whatever, an independent probe panel or body to look into this. Maybe perhaps he doesn't believe in the government agency to look into this. That's on the one hand. But on the other hand, we believe, and a lot of Nigerians believe, that yes, truly speaking, an independent body would do a better job. What I mean is that if there's an independent body, that will add value to what President Tinubu is talking about, what he intends to do in this whole anti-corruption thing. And that is why I think that it will also be better for Gbajabiamila at the end of the day, because if it's EFCC or whatever, at the end of the whole exercise, people will still raise eyebrows that yes, it's been favored one way or the other. But if it's an independent body, then it's in safe waters, because they will look at it, I think, very dispassionately, and that will create room for propriety and lack of misgivings, for instance. That's what I think.
Okay, we'll see the situation where high-profile individuals, once the matter gets to court, we've seen the senators who are fainted in court, senators who have alleged that they had broken necks, and just by the time they're wheeled out of the court premises, you see them looking very okay. Yes,
going for Thanksgiving.
I'm going for Thanksgiving. But in this case now, we have Adeyemi saying that there are threats to his life. Would you take this with
because the major witness, we are told, died in the fire break.
Yes.
You know, that sends some messages to people, okay? And he's saying that, yes, I think he's been lying low, really. He's been lying low for his own personal safety. Yes. Now he has come out openly to say that his life has been threatened. And I believe that, yes, there may have been some attempts to threaten his life.
Okay.
Because once he gets off the scene, that's the end of the matter. Okay? So, but he's saying that, yes, he's ready to spill the beans, he's ready to name names, so to speak. And I think that explains why he says that his life has been threatened.
Okay.
I also do believe that, yes, he needs to be given some kind of protection for now. If government means well, he needs to be given some protection so that the truth can be revealed ultimately.
All right. He came out to say that he paid 400 million naira for his appointment. Does that not, under the tenets of the law, already make him an accomplice?
Well, yes, it could be complicity, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's true. Why must he even do that?
Exactly.
400 million. I mean, that story is neither here nor there, really. 400 million to get an appointment. Over what? Okay. Except we are saying that, yes, he got that with the hope that more money will come into the agency. In other words, we'll just have been left out of the lodge.
Okay.
For instance. Because 400 million naira compared to what he is likely to get, you know, it's something that may be insignificant, except we are talking about that, really. But, yes, I mean, he needs to prove all of this.
Exactly.
Yes, he needs to prove it. That's why I think it's important for us to have some fair weather, to the advantage of both parties, really.
Okay.
Gbajabia Mila and this gentleman, Adeyemi.
Mm.
Okay, so, but ultimately, I think the whole issue rests with the federal government or the presidency. They want to do well and do justice to all of this. It is right to listen to public opinion without thinking that this is coming from the opposition or somewhere. No, these are completely out of it. And all the people in the drama should be brought forward to testify. Because in the case of Adeyemi, for instance, which looks so ridiculous enough,
Yes.
the National Assembly was involved.
Exactly.
Okay. Minister of Finance was involved. All right. He had an office in the Federal Secretariat. That means the head of service would be involved. All right. The Central Bank would be involved. So there are many people who are involved in this drama. So, and they must all come to say whatever they know about it.
Just before we move away from this topic, you just mentioned many other people. Some monies, especially that of staff that were paid to this agency, there was a budget for that agency. Had it passed through the Senate, definitely the House, as the case may be. And so that means that an individual like Akpabio must be involved. But we've not heard anything as regards him. It brings us to this issue of rubber stamp decisions from...
I mean, that's why the whole thing is so funny. Because, you see, the guy is saying that, look, the National Assembly was aware
Exactly.
of this. I mean, there have been issues of letters and things, correspondence between him and the National Assembly.
Yes.
And he says it with so much vitality. For example, I mean, without mincing words. So the National Assembly must also play a part in this to get to the root of the matter, because after all, we are talking about oversight functions.
Yes.
The budget went through. The name of this agency was there on
Yes.
pages 50 and 51, I think.
Exactly. Yes.
And so much money was appropriated to it. Okay? To the tune of over 1.something billion.
Yes.
Right. So the National Assembly cannot be oblivious
Exactly.
of the operations of this fellow and the agency he represents. And in any case, there was approval from the powers that be,
Exactly.
meaning that, yes, they are aware of what happened. If they are saying it's a con man, how can a con man go through the whole hog? There must be a super con man to have gone through the whole hog. He must have gone through the National Assembly, he must have gone through the Central Bank to open account, not just one account, to open accounts with the Central Bank
Yes.
in foreign currencies. Yeah, for anybody to do that, it means he's a superman, to have beaten the federal government to it.
To it, exactly.
Yes, meaning that there is so much deficiency in the system.
Yes.
All right, and the system is so porous. How are we sure that there are not many Adeyemis left behind?
Very true. This is just
Yes,
coming
this
to...
is just coming to the limelight.
Exactly,
There
yes.
may have been many Adeyemis who are hiding behind the scene, who have done even worse things than this. I mean, that possibility is there, for instance. It means that, I mean, talking seriously now, it means that we have a weak system that does not strengthen organizations like the CBN, National Assembly. That's what we are talking about. Institutions must be made strong.
Exactly.
They must not be enfeebled, by actions such as this. They are terribly enfeebled. Most of the institutions we have in this country.
Exactly.
And that's why somebody like Adeyemi, rightly or wrongly, could have gone through the entire system without being detected. In fact, but for the fact that he says, oh no, there's money to be, that the Gbajabia Mila is asking for, he says that Gbajabia Mila is asking for about 200 million.
Yes, exactly.
So the thing came to the limelight.
Yes.
Where am I going to get the 200 million naira from? That's the crux of this whole matter.
Yes.
So I can tell you that, yes, without missing words, these things, some of these things must have been happening in the past, unknown to Nigerians.
Yes.
But it's just that this has been brought to the fore at this point in time. Yes.
Well, Providence Television International will keep you updated on this particular issue, but there's a question that also comes to mind. So many people are going to go down if things were actually working well. The CBN governor still has to answer. How come there are 4 accounts being run by a fictitious organization and it is not, and he is not in the know? We'll move down to an issue of public opinion. Some few days ago, the federal government announced that WAEC and NECO fees will be increased. It did not go down with parents and students at all. But just yesterday, we had this news that the federal government has suspended the proposed review of registration fees for the 2027 West Africa Senior School Certificate Examination and the National Examinations Council Senior School Certificate Examination to allow for wider consultations and a comprehensive review. And the question comes to mind, were there no consultations before?
No, I'm worried. I'm worried
Okay.
because, I mean, the economy is in bad shape.
Yes.
The standard of living is very low. And then you are adding another burden to the burden already being carried by parents as far as giving their children and what, the right education. That's what it is.
Yes.
Okay? And I don't know the reason for this at this point in time. Okay? Rather than think of reducing it drastically, they were thinking of increasing it. And now because of the public outcry. Yes, but right, we must give government some kudos. I think for the first time in so many situations, they're about to listen to public outcry. Yes. And that's exactly what it is. I will want many more such situations to happen. When there's a wrong policy, I think the best thing for government to do is to reverse. To reverse it almost immediately. If it's not going that way with people, because you are there at the behest of the people. And if, and tragically, I mean, this is a time when many children are dropping out of school. Yes. And then you're adding the burden to the parents who are battling with their survival on a daily basis, urgent daily survival.
Exactly.
That's why we think that, yes, it was done with the right intention. I mean, the intention of reversing. Yes, that was a good intention. A good plan, as it were. But the first plan was rather absurd, of heightening the fees. And these things don't know the rich or the poor. It's a leveler. Okay? So when you increase fees like that for examinations, you are talking about the rich, you're also talking about the poor. Yes, and there are many more poor people in this country who are just battling to send their children to school. So when you add this kind of burden to them, you are impoverishing them the more. And I don't think it's good for our national psyche.
All right, so many people have come out to say that this is an act of gross insensitivity from the government to the people. Are you in support of this kind of statement?
Oh, yeah, sure, because, I mean, come to think of it, and I'm very, very convinced, a lot of parents will have opted out. Yes, their children, they will tell you that it's our survival that matters. You know, education can wait. And that would be terrible, because education is the key to development. I am even thinking that a time will come in this country when these examination fees and all sort of things will be free. Right. If we have a good system, a system that is compassionate, this fee should be free. Why can't it be free? I mean, the Second Republic, for instance, some of these things were free when UPN was talking about free education and all of that. Yes, and I think that some governors in the recent past have cancelled it. So, but I don't know why the federal government thought of it in the first place. But happily, they've suspended it. I don't like the word suspended.
Yes.
They should have cancelled it outright. Yes. That hike. They should have cancelled it. Suspension means they might go back to it.
Yes.
Right? You could see the consultations and things like that. So I just hope at the end they will not tell us that they have consulted and this is what they think is right for the people.
Right for the people.
Yes.
Well, just like you said, the level of insensitivity, not at this particular time. There are still some apologies for the government who have come out to say that education should not be free. Are you of this opinion?
Why can't education be free? All this money they are taking all over the place. Can't it fund education? What's there that education cannot fund? I'm even saying that there should be bursary awards for students in the university. We had it in this country before. Yes. Bursary awards by state government and by federal government. Why can't we go back to those things? Those are things that can help parents in the present circumstance. Why can't education be free? No, tell me. There's no earthly reason why education cannot be free in this country. Because, I'll tell you, people who are in power now, they went through a system that was free. Many professors we have now went through a system, particularly in the Western region, where education was free. Today, they can go on they can go back and do a rethink of the kind of things they benefited from such system or from such a system. Okay, and we can do it. Yes, there should be no encumbrance really. If we it's all about planning, right? you plan. We used to have 5-year development plans in this country for education, for infrastructure, and all of that. It's all gone to the wind. So it's a question of planning where you want education to be in the next 2 or 3 years.
Well, all right, we'll have more on education, hopefully within the week or in a subsequent program. We'll now go down to politics. Our next story, Peter Obi says 2027 could be his final presidential race, citing Nigeria's informal zoning arrangement that rotates the presidency between the north and the south.
Well, he has said that repeatedly, and I hope that he abides with it. He even said that he's going to be a one-term president if he wins.
Yes.
Meaning that he's out of this 2-term arrangement, as it were, so that power can go back again to the north. But people are saying, no, you can't be serious. I mean, if you do so well, and I say, yes, you should continue, why must you tie yourself to the apron strings of 4 years, or just 4 years, for example? But the human nature is such that people renege on their promises, their plans and actions or whatever. But I hope that, yes, he will just abide by that, meaning that if he doesn't win in 2027, that's bye-bye for him, finally. Okay?
Yes, that's exactly what he's saying.
That's what he's saying. That's bye-bye for him. Will obedience take that? That's the question. I mean, he has a huge number of people who are following him. Will they take that? Yes, the zoning arrangement. It's not too democratic, but let's look at it holistically. In a country like ours, when there are so many things to look at, the issue of ethnicity, the issue of religion, and all of that, they are still quite germane to this kind of discussion. Okay. Now, if you are talking about removing this rotational system,
yes,
in other words, you can say that almost perpetually, the president should come from a particular part of the country, if you throw it open.
Okay.
That's what it means. Yeah, but if you talk about rotational presidency, for instance, even governorship is the same thing. Right. I mean, if you say that the governor or the president, let's talk about the president now, should come from the south, you vote for somebody from the south, 8 years. Another person comes out who is good, quote unquote, you put him in. What are the other parts of the country? And there are many good people. I mean, the panacea to this really is that, thank God for that, there are many good people in this country who can rule this country effectively from all the regions. Yes. So the better thing really is to be able to fish them out so that the issue of just being from one country does not arise.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
Yes, but I think it should be properly ingrained in the Constitution so that we don't run into rough waters. If by 8 years the president comes from a particular region of the country, propriety just demands that the next president should come from another part. Yes. We are not a homogeneous country. We are really terribly heterogeneous, divided by so many things. I mentioned religion, I mentioned ethnicity. We are divided on those fronts. You know, even a Muslim ticket, you could see the reaction of Nigerians.
Exactly.
Yes, you could see the reaction of Nigerians. No, you should have, that's religion, by the way. Oh, no, the president is a Muslim or the president is a Christian, so he must pick a Muslim as a vice president. Those issues, they have been there, they are primordial issues. And I don't think that it will be appropriate to jettison them. Okay. Yes.
Would you think that independent candidacy will be viable in Nigeria presently?
I think it's the ultimate, really. I've always stood by that. It's the ultimate. Yes, it's the ultimate because it's less expensive.
Okay.
It's, I mean, it's not too Herculean. I mean, in terms of finance, okay? And truly, it is the person and the Nigerian people.
Yes.
Yes, you don't conceal anything. I mean, this is me, this is my resume, okay? Vote for me because of my track records. But as it is now, it is the party that people are voting for.
Okay.
Yes, you might say that in some instances they vote for the person, but that truly is not what it is. So if there is independent candidacy, and I think that the National Assembly is already looking at it, really. And I pray that one day, someday, this will come to the fore, so that people who are endowed intellectually and otherwise will just come out to serve, and they will serve with a purpose. Because the system right now is is quite excruciating in terms of finance.
Yeah.
People spend a lot on the average of, I mean, if you want to run for governorship, for instance, you must be talking about billions, all right?
Yes.
Yes, and not to even talk of the president.
Mm.
Yes, so I believe that, yes, independent candidacy will just be appropriate. Let's start with the local government first.
Okay.
Yes, and use that as a benchmark. Then we'll graduate into governorship and the presidency.
All right, just before we go, there are individuals who have stated that due to the amounts that these candidates used to get their forms and the amounts that they spend on campaigns, that they are quite exorbitant. And so that does this not in a way aid corrupt practices when they get back there in the course of trying to recoup?
You could see what happened in the primaries. Yes, accusations, counter accusations all over the place. Oh, I gave XYZ money, this one did not report appropriately, you know, all sorts of things. And there are litigations all over the place. Okay? And it is not good for our democracy.
Okay.
It is not. So we must isolate some of these things from the mainstream intention of would-be leaders. I believe very strongly that, yes, independent candidacy will just be it. All right? But as I said, let's start from the local government level and see how it goes. Then we can translate to governorship and presidency.
Yes. I know you're still glued to the screen, but the CEO has a parting shot.
Well, the parting shot will be this. We're approaching the election year. I will pray that the opposition gets stronger. All right? They have said it openly that the center is working towards a one-party system. And I don't think that will be acceptable by all standards. So the opposition must speak out all the time. They must play the role of the opposition. The opposition is there to feel the pulse of the people and to put the government in power on its toes. Okay? And I don't think it is even in the interest of the present administration to stifle the opposition. So the opposition must be given some breathing space. But look at the opposition itself. Totally as a professor friend of mine said, totally in disarray. Okay, so they must work within limits. Yeah. By working within limits, I mean they must work appropriately to ensure that they do not become a laughing stock in the process. So I must say, quite frankly, that yes, a one-party system is not what we are looking for. In fact, some people are even saying jokingly now that President Tinubu is looking for a coronation. That is not democratic. We should stay away from that. It doesn't paint us well in the international community. And I don't think everybody will pray for that.
Pray for that. Well, thank you so much, sir, for being in the studio. And for you, our viewers out there, I want to say thank you so much. That's it on the program Issues in the News on Providence Television International. Please stay tuned.